Hey guys, what's up? It's JT here with another video. And in this video, we're going to be going over the first time I got caught smoking weed. Now, this is kind of like a series of events that happened. As with most of my life stories, this took place about 2 years ago-ish. So, yeah, let's just get right into this. So, this is freshman year of high school. I was just kind of getting into the sort of rhythm and stuff of high school and just kind of enjoying high school for what it was, high school. Being with a community of people, and of course there's some good apples and some bad apples, and I happened to be hanging around with the bad apples. But it was an interesting time for me, just mainly because I was exposed to new things, just because you become more mature when you get into high school. That's just how it is. And along with maturity comes a lot of immaturity, as far as high school goes. So obviously, being the immature teenager I was, the adolescent I was, or sort of am, naturally, I was compelled to start smoking weed. So when I was doing this stuff, I was very nervous about getting caught. I didn't want to, I'd done it, once or twice, and if I was going to do it on a consistent basis, I knew that I had to be safe and I had to be careful about not getting caught. But I didn't realize the reality behind it is everyone gets caught. Now, not necessarily by the police. I mean, that doesn't really happen. In fact, I'd say it's pretty rare. But everyone does eventually just end up getting caught by their parents. Just what happens, And what happened with me was that, just over a period of time, over a series of events, my parents just caught on. That's just kind of what happened for me. It wasn't so much like that one sort of thing that happened. It was just over a series, of events that happened. That's what happened. So let's get right into this. So the first thing that I remember, my first recollection of ever getting, my parents getting onto me, was that I was very nervous and paranoid about not having a lighter at the time. Like, if I didn't have a lighter or anything to match up, I was like, oh, that'd be the worst thing in the world. Even though it's never even happened to me, where you just run out right when you're about to smoke. It's never happened to me, but 2 years ago, I was very nervous about okay, I have to have an extra thing just in case. So what I did was, in the back of my wallet, I'd put matches. And I knew matches weren't the best thing to light up anything, but I figured, it's a good last resort thing just in case, my friend runs out or something like that. Or we figured a lighter, So that was the best thing to do. And funny enough, in my vlog, the thing actually did end up happening, but we ended up fighting matches. I suggest you check out that vlog. My first one was pretty good. So I would carry matches in the back of my wallet. Whilst this was happening, every time I got back from school, and it was completely unrelated, but every time I would get back from school, I'd take a nap. And when I took naps, my mom got really oh my god, he's taking naps. That must mean he's smoking weed. That's what she thought. And there was nothing before that I can remember that she was, that she was on to me. There was nothing before that. It just because I was taking naps that she got nervous or she got on to me. But it was completely unrelated. I wasn't even smoking in school, so I don't even know why that even happened. But anyways, one of these days, I was taking a nap after school just because I was tired from high school, whatever, and she ended up looking through my wallet. And what do you know? What she finds is these matches that I had gotten from my kitchen. So she looked at them, and she wakes me up immediately. My dad's there, too, and my dad's a hard ass, so I got to be careful on my dad. I got to be careful what I say. So I'm carefully calculating the words I'm gonna say to them after I find out they got caught. But I can't even formulate words out of my mouth. I'm just I can't say anything, because I'm just so nervous about what happened, and I don't know what type of connection they're bringing this into, because it just matches, but I don't know what connection they're making here. And I wasn't even sure, but I knew that it was either cigarettes or it was weed, and whatever one it was not good. It was not good for me. It was not good for little JT. So they end up finding matches, and they call me and they're like, what the fuck is this? And I'm just like, oh, it's matches. And I obviously bring out the good old alibi of candles and fireworks. That didn't pull through. So the candles and firework thing did not pull through. I couldn't sell the idea well enough. I'm no Wolf on Wall Street here. I could not sell that idea that the matches were for fireworks and candles, so that didn't work. But what did end up working was that I just said, I was like, I'm tired. Can I just talk to you guys about it later? So I kind of got myself out of it. Now, the really weird thing about this was, right? The weirdest thing was that they completely never brought it up again. Now, what I realized was my birthday was coming up in about a couple days. So I guess they felt that it would have been awkward had they brought it up again, and my birthday would have been right around the corner, and they had plans to take me out. So what they did was very calculatively, they decided to wait, and they didn't say anything. And after my birthday came, we'd sit around the dinner table eating our steak and, eating our nice little food, and that's it. You know what I got, boys? I got the drug talk. Yes, the drug talk. It is the worst. It's the most uncomfortable. Personally, a little more uncomfortable than the sex talk. That was pretty weird. Another story, but that was pretty weird too. But, it was just so weird. Like, it was very it insinuative, like they were insinuating that I was doing something, but they weren't really, they were just implying but not saying, so they were kind of just like, yeah, so high school, you gotta be careful about hanging around the right people, and you gotta stay away from these things, and they weren't even saying the words, but they were just kind of implying them, and I was just like, oh my god, I was just like, no. And from that moment, I was like, Jesus, this is just so cringy. I could not stay at the table, but I had to. I mean, you can't just say I have to get a glass of water in the middle of this very deep-rooted conversation. So I just stayed at the table, just listened to their 2 cents and what they were saying, and that was pretty much it. They just kept saying, oh, you gotta be careful, this stuff's bad for you and stuff like that. Now, over this series of events, I obviously, when I get back from parties and stuff like that, I'd have red eyes and stuff like that. And then that was it. I mean, that was when they kind of just knew. But they didn't, for as long as I remember, until another event happened, which I'll leave in light story. I don't want to spoil it. But until another major event happened that year, they were kind of just like, okay, as long as he's just, he's being pretty good with it and his grades are okay, which my grades were pretty good at that time. They were just kind of like, all right, just let it be. Just don't, as long as I wasn't just too gone in front of them, they didn't really bring it up too much. But I had it pretty good, but I really wanted to push for this, this little thing. I didn't want to put it in a stoner guide or anything like that, but I wanted to push for this just because I was curious about what happened to other kids when they got caught. I was just very curious, and I remember looking at Ex-Cody's stuff, and I was just like, oh my god, I have to find a story or something like that when he got caught. And I'm pretty sure he did, because I looked at it a few years back when I was first watching him, and he found that too. So that's why I really wanted to push for this little story, I guess you'd say, or this experience rather. And just so you guys know what happened to me, and that way you guys know what might happen to you. For me personally, it was pretty easy for me. I had a pretty easy going time. It wasn't too bad. But some people have heard it worse. Some people, they had it really bad. But anyways, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, anything at all, leave it down in the comments below. Smash the like button if you guys enjoyed. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Ready to pop, drop top, fuck cops, and I'm never gonna stop. Cop drop in my mouth, cause I'm sick with the shit that I spit out the lip, ripping dip with the clip. The whole team gotta hit real quick.